And now for something completely different.
Okay, are we ready to go? We're doing Ready Player One.
Yes.
Okay. Um Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Cinematic Relief. My name is Thunder.
And my name is Lightning.
And today is Monday. Welcome to the podcast. We watched Ready Player One, which was a movie. It stars Ty Sheridan and Ben. Oh, what's that guy's name? I'm trying to do this off memory. Ben something. The guy from Captain Marvel is the bad guy in this one, and he's really cool, and I love him a lot. And T.J. Miller is unfortunately in this piece. But he was weirdly not playing a comic relief. We'll get into that later. But Chris, I want to hear your gut reaction. Liked it, didn't like it, yay or nay first.
So as far as most video game-esque movies go,
Yeah.
I thought it did okay. There's some things that I'm sure would be cringeworthy if it wasn't for the fact that it was 100 years in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I give them some leeway for that. Because VR is
It was
definitely...
2040, I think.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Maybe the date could have been a little further
Right.
along. But I give them credit for that because that does give them artistic license to make some decisions they want
Yeah.
that could happen in the video game world.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't an insulting video game movie.
No, it was very. That was my one takeaway from it as far as movies go, specifically movies about video games. And there's obviously a difference between this and Scott Pilgrim and Mortal Kombat the movie. It's
Yeah.
not based off a video game with a storyline. But as far as video game-esque movie goes, it was non-offensive. It was just sort of there, you know?
Yeah. So what was your gut reaction?
Okay, so I need to preface because I was really ready to hate this movie. I was like, I usually don't do this, but for whatever reason with Ready Player One, probably because it was about video games and video games are the thing I'm the most passionate about. I was just ready to I was going in pre-hating it, right? And I was like, this is not a healthy mindset to have. How can I fix this? So I kept this a secret from you for so long. It feels like I've had this secret for months. But I read the book before I watched the movie. I read the whole damn thing.
Okay.
It's 360 pages, and boy howdy am I glad I did, because
Really? Okay.
there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie that I think that if I didn't read the book, I would have hated.
Okay.
But because I had the context of the book, I was like, oh, okay. For example, when he boots up the Oasis,
Mm-hmm.
the first thing they show is something called Minecraft World. And I feel like if I hadn't read the book, I'd be like, oh, what the fuck, product placement right there, and it's Minecraft right there. But in the book, he takes a special mention to talk about the fact that other video game worlds have been grandfathered in. If you're someone who plays World of Warcraft, you just play World of Warcraft in the Oasis now. There's just the World of Warcraft planet where all that happens. So I saw Minecraft World and I was like, oh, hell yeah, that would happen if Ready Player One happened today.
Yeah.
So just things like that. I'll get into them here and there. But I will say the movie is just so different, just so completely different. They change a lot, and I get it. I the reason he changed a lot was to make it a little more modern,
contemporary.
The book has a lot of 70s and 80s references.
Yeah.
And the movie didn't not have those. For example, there is absolutely no car chase in the book.
Okay.
At all. That was changed entirely. Mostly every final, every challenge they have to do is related to an old video game or an old movie. Not The Shining though. I'll get to that in a second. I still have a problem with that, but we'll get to it. I will say there was a change that there was two changes that I actually really did like. And I was like, that makes more sense for a movie. In the book, you go to a challenge, you get the key, and then the key has a riddle on it, and then you have to go find the gate, and there's another challenge there. So there's like 6 individual challenges.
Yeah.
And instead, for the movie, they changed it to you do the challenge, you get the key, you get all 3 keys, you go unlock the door, you find the last final challenge. You know?
Yeah.
And I thought that made more sense for a movie.
Definitely.
Also, the character IROC, the one who was voiced by T.J. Miller, the one who had like a skull for a chest, and he was like the main villain's like henchman or whatever. In the book, he's a one-chapter throwaway bully character that bullies, that bullies, what's the main character's name? Parseval and H, like in school and stuff. And they changed him into the like mercenary character that he was in the movie, and I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
That they took that character that like really honestly didn't need to be in the book, at all, to that. I will say I like the character. I like the main character in the movie a lot more than I do in the book. The main character in the book's kind of a creep.
Oh, really?
And he's kind of like, because he's such a creep, he's kind of like very unrelatable.
Okay.
There's this part, it happens in the movie too, but there's a part in the book where they're dancing and he tells her that he's in love with her, and she's like, "You're not in love with me. This was a mistake. I'm leaving. We're not going to talk anymore," or whatever. And he says something along the effects of like, "So you're breaking up with me?" And she says very explicitly, she says, "I'm not breaking up with you. We were never together." And then like literally the next chapter is like, "Ever since Artemis broke up with me." And it's like, dog, she told you.
Yeah.
She told you that you guys weren't a thing.
You said this book came out in the 80s, right?
No, this book came out like 2001, I think.
Okay.
But it's got a lot of 80s references. I'll look just to make sure. Also, Ready Player 2
is
coming out like next week.
Yeah. Very soon. I think some of that might have had to do, I know it was only like 19 years ago, but it might have just been the times. This dude was like, "You're a girl and we've been talking a lot. We must be dating."
Yeah. No, not the fucking movie. When did the book come out? 2011.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's just a creep. Then he's just a weirdo.
Also, everyone in the book is fat.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
But not the movie. Which is fine, whatever.
I mean, they made it VR. I don't know if it's VR in the book.
Yeah.
I suppose there's still a good amount of exercise that can be done.
Right. No, there's a whole section in the book where he talks about how he set up his rig so that it will not turn on until he is exercised for the day.
Oh, that's
because
cool.
because he was just spending so much time in the game that he was just like putting on all the pounds and stuff. But no, the movie. See, this is the part where I'd be like, the movie had a lot of like, look at this, look at that. But that's how it is in the book too. There's a lot. This movie, other than the main 3 or 4 characters, there was a lot of people who were like, I'll just dress up as Ryu. Now I'm a Ninja Turtle, right? But like, there's a lot less of that in the book, but there's still some of that.
I mean, if somebody made an open world, I don't even know what to call it, chat room that can do anything.
Yeah.
That you can play any game, do anything you want.
Right.
And the creator was also like, use as many mods.
Yeah, import
as
your
you
own
want.
skins. Yeah.
That's gonna happen. People are gonna do that.
Oh, yeah,
nonstop. So I mean, that's realistic. Whether you want to call it product placement or not.
Right. Yeah. Well, no. As far as the movie's concerned, it's very clearly product placement. But as far as the universe of this world is concerned, it makes sense. I will say 2 things. You mentioned mods. It doesn't. It was a little weird when she was like, "Welcome to my physically manifested mod garage, where I make mods."
That was. that's actually one of the main things where I was like, I'd call them out on it, but it's also set in the future. So
right.
I guess I'll give them that.
No, that was like the primary thing that I was like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? No, I don't remember. Oh, I noticed that actually, let me pull this up.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the credits, and I noticed in the credits that all the characters are, credited, and then at the very end, his name is Ben Mendelsohn, by the way. At the very end of the credits, not that far down. At the very end of the credits, it said Kara Theobald as Tracer, and I was like, oh, interesting.
Okay.
And Tracer is obviously the main character from Overwatch. She was in the movie. She didn't talk much. She just kind of said like, yeah, or something like that a couple times. But am I wrong in thinking that because you got the person who voices Tracer to voice Tracer in your movie and you credited her as Tracer, that's not a character. That's not a person playing as Tracer. That's Tracer, the video game character.
So what are you? How differently would you wanted her to be credited?
I obviously she deserves to be credited because she voiced a character, but I feel like I don't know, something along the lines of like I don't know, like extra character 1 or something like that, just because the fact that it's her playing the character she always plays and it said her as Tracer, it just gave off the
Tracer was all up in this
of like,
movie.
no, it just gave off the notion that wasn't a person dressed as like wearing a Tracer skin. That was just actually Tracer hanging out.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh.
Like it wasn't someone's avatar.
That
was actually the character Tracer.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I see what you're saying. I don't think they would have cared enough.
No, I know.
I think the guy making the credits would have looked at you with his cigarette in his mouth and just kept going back to typing out the credits.
Listen, I barely spelled Tracer right the first time, kid. No, there was a lot of cool. There's a part where they go by some kids who are like clearly in the VR world. And it cuts to the game, and they're the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
And they were specifically the Ninja Turtle models from the Ninja Turtle movies, the Michael Bay movies.
Yeah.
It seems like, and I get it, it seems like Steven Spielberg or, whoever was in charge of this just went to Industrial Lights and Magic and was like, how many assets can we take that you already have?
Yeah.
Oh, you have the Ninja Turtles? Good. They were in a video game once, which was cool. There was a lot of things. Something that I thought was weird that only I would notice because I'm a fucking freak. Goro from Mortal Kombat, Supergirl, and Harley Quinn were in this movie.
Okay.
Goro was his model from Mortal Kombat X. Supergirl was her model from Injustice 2. But Harley Quinn was her model from Batman Arkham Knight. And I don't know why that was. Like, why didn't they just use... If they were already up in Injustice copying her model,
right?
Why didn't they take Harley Quinn Injustice as well?
It might have been maybe they liked her. Maybe it was easier to program her costume in the other one or something like that.
Maybe. I don't know. I thought that particularly weird because those are all the same developers. That's why I mentioned those three. But no, I thought it was cool. I mean, any movie that adapts a book struggles with this, but I feel like it went pretty fast. I feel like we went we went pretty quickly from not being in a rebel base to like being in a rebel base and like being on the run and knowing all the kids in real life and stuff. Like that took like years in the book. And also when she like kidnapped him and was like, we're rebels, that's not in the book at all. They actually don't see each other until the last page.
Oh, wow.
Because she like is like, no one is going to see me. I am not. This is not okay. But then they actually do fall in love at the end for some reason. And the last page is them like seeing each other for the first time, which was pretty cool. I'm not going to make this whole podcast in the book they did this, but I do want to talk about the big battle at the end, which was in the book. And in the book it was super cool, in the movie it was super cool too. Because one of the challenges that's in the book but not the movie, you just get a mech. You get a little tiny mech that you can ride in. So all the big five have a mech and all the bad guys have a mech. So the last battle is essentially a Mobile Suit Gundam, like in the movie. And the main character was in Leopardon, the big mech that Spider-Man rides in the Japanese live-action Spider-Man TV show.
Oh my god. Okay.
And the bad guy is Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
And his army is all 5 pieces of Voltron and every Eva unit from Neon Genesis Evangelion. So when he pulled out the Gundam and he pulled out Mechagodzilla, I was like, hell yes. What I did think was weird that they went with like an original Mechagodzilla design.
Yeah.
Like they didn't take a design from any of the old movies. They like made their own, which I thought was weird because everything else was like, that's
OG.
literally
Yeah.
just we ripped the model from TMNT Out of the Shadows and put it in this movie for a second.
I think when you get into that many properties, there's probably a lot of blue tape involved, and
Yeah.
I think they probably got, stopped at some point
Yeah.
down the line.
Because I'm sure they read the book and they were like, well, Mechagodzilla is the final boss. We can't not have it. That's
Right.
so cool. But then they're not. This movie wasn't made by Legendary, who are the American holders of the current Godzilla, like
Right.
American share rights. But at the same time, they dead ass played the Godzilla main theme when Mechagodzilla was rummaging around. So
There's a similar situation I can't think of.
in the movie,
No, just
Oh.
with rights to characters and stuff.
yeah,
This isn't the one I was thinking of, but like Shadows of the Empire for N64.
yeah.
Supposed to be Han Solo.
Oh, right. And they
But-
like sort of got the rights.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like it's a Star Wars game.
Right.
We know it's a Star Wars game. How do you not have the rights to Han Solo?
Right. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Did you catch I don't know how long ago you watched this, but did you catch that when they were at the party and he threw up the Zemeckis cube and time like reverted 2 minutes or whatever? Did you hear the Back to the Future theme song leitmotif?
No.
Oh, it was so cool, dude.
No.
That shit does not happen in the book, and that was cool.
I don't think they would have put a leitmotif in the book.
No, I know, but the Zemeckis cube shit is like made up.
Okay.
Everything that happens at that party is not like they go to that party and the people storm in and stuff. But the Zemeckis cube was just from the movie. I thought that was really cool. I will say that the first challenge was a little dumb. It was
the
a little like
racing one
yeah, it was a little like really. This kid's the first person
to drive backwards.
They have like fleets of dozens of people studying this guy's whole entire life every day, and this is the first person to drive backwards.
Screw all that. Some troll isn't just gonna drive backwards in one of these races.
Yeah.
No, some jackass. If that was real, some idiot would have just driven backwards in the first race.
No, dude,
and unlocked it.
day one, like hour 10 of day one, they're finding that key. If that's the case,
And it's some idiot, just some kid who just was goofing.
yeah.
He was like, I was just memeing.
Now I got 100,000 points.
Yeah.
I
Also-
will.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
you go. I talk a lot.
I feel like, and I'm kind of just making this connection now. This book was written in released or whatever, however you want to. It was published in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
This all feels very much like a modern day Willy Wonka situation.
Yeah, no, it definitely has Willy Wonka vibes for sure. Of like, poor kid, wants to be the first person to do the thing,
And every kid in the world would want to do
right? And
what
then
he's doing.
and then he basically does it.
Yeah, yeah.
Something that was cool in the book that I wish they'd kept in the movie is that when he Anorak and Oz,
Mm-hmm.
they have specific avatars that are the highest level, and they are indestructible, and they can do whatever they want and manipulate the world in any way they see fit. And when Parzival finally wins the Ready Player One Easter egg hunt, whatever you want to call it, he actually just gives him the avatar. So he takes away his avatar. Now he's the wizard, and he has all those powers. He can like delete people permanently. He can do whatever he wants, which I thought was pretty cool. And wasn't sure why they kept it out.
Didn't
of
do
the
that.
book. Yeah, because the whole ending was similar enough. In the book, they're like at Oz's house but like the whole scene with like you got to go talk to lawyer's kid, but then he doesn't on camera is also in the book and stuff like that. I do want to talk about The Shining because I do think it was weird. So in the book, he has to do that. He has to play a movie. He essentially like he is the main character of a movie, and he has to play out every scene, and that's the game, and that's how he gets a couple of the challenges. And one of them is War Games with Matthew Broderick, and one of them is Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe it's a rights thing, maybe it's I'm a great director and I'm going to pick another great director's movie thing, but I don't know why, because yes, they're going to go into a movie some point in this movie. I don't know why it had to be The Shining, an R-rated movie in a PG-13 movie. They even did the scene where she gets out of the tub naked.
And she's naked.
But they can't show it because it's a PG-13 movie.
Right.
I just thought it was so weird. I was like, this is an action-adventure about video games, and this is a horror film from the 70s, ? And
I would argue
it's rated R.
More well-known than either of the other two films that were mentioned.
No, of course, yes. I'm not, no disagreement there, but like pick a different...
Sure.
Pick a PG-13 well-known film that you can do that in, you know?
I'll give you that for sure.
I just thought it was weird that, there was a section of the movie that was basically an rated R, essentially.
Yeah.
And there was also a section of the movie that it was just a horror movie all of a sudden. It wasn't scary, but like, you know, it had...
I will say I'm impressed with how it looked. I don't know how they did some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Because they literally, I don't know if you've ever seen The Shining. I don't think you have.
I have not.
But it looked like they were in the movie.
No, that is
cool.
impressive. I will give them that. That is pretty cool. But I did think The Shining was a weird
weird pick.
choice. What was the third one? Oh, the third one was the big fight with the yeah. There's a lot of crazy stuff that they have to. Some of the shit they do in the book I would have never figured out. But no, I think after reading that whole goddamn book, I was reading that book. I read like 19 chapters of that book up New Hampshire, by the way.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I did. After you guys went to bed. After going through this whole experience, after reading this whole book and watching the movie based off of it, I think I came out the other end kind of liking it.
Sure.
Like and that's not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. I really didn't want this podcast to be, well, wasn't that stupid? I hated this movie, and you can tell that Anthony hates the movie from the second he turns the podcast on. So I was like, I don't know. For once in my life, I was like, this fucking movie's based off a book. Let me just read the book. And I liked the book. The book was fine. You know, like I said, kind of an unrelatable main character. Maybe a little too much. He spends 3 whole paragraphs talking about masturbation, which I was like, do we stop it, please? Please stop.
That never, I mean, obviously that doesn't come up once in the movie.
But, oh, what was I saying? I got so sidetracked.
You liked it.
No, I did like it. That's what I was going to say. I thought, after liking the book, I thought if anything was going to happen, I was going to dislike the movie on the merits of it was nothing like the book.
Yeah.
And it sort of was nothing like the book. There was similar beats for sure, but a lot of what happened was very dissimilar to how it happened in the book. Especially how fast everything moves, but that's just movies. But I will say this movie was only 2 hours long. It could have been a little longer.
Sure.
And they could have paced out a scene or two. Oh, also the like library that everyone goes to, the like physical space with the curator and stuff.
Yeah.
That's not in the book either. Everyone just sort of does the research on their own.
That makes more sense to me than this guy mapping out his entire life.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
It makes more sense than like, because he was like, solve my lifelong riddle. All the answers are here though.
Yeah.
That part was a little weird to me. But there was essentially in the book, he essentially just like uploads like a huge Word document of like a diary he kept his whole life. And every time anything of pop culture was referenced in that diary, someone would like add it to a list, and then it was just uploaded, and everyone like has that big, huge,
Okay.
like terabyte large file of media to consume to maybe find a clue about the Easter egg.
I mean, I've been doing that on this channel since the beginning, so that when we get famous and I die, somebody can take the mantle of lightning. But
I see.
have you not also been doing this?
You expect to die before me, leave me co-hostless. I have to find someone else. But
Well,
they're-
no, I
they're
thought
supposed to act exactly like you.
I
and
thought
have
you
all
were.
the-
I thought you were doing this too.
No, I guess I'll.
So when
start
one of
now.
us dies, the other one has a replacement all ready to go.
I don't listen.
Jesus.
Listen. Once I die, I don't think we need another person to scream as much as I do about theme songs.
So you just wanted to become Lightning's gaming?
No, when we're dead, we're not gonna. There's not gonna. No, the channel ends. It gets
Oh.
deleted. So someone finds the code and deletes it because we're dead and we can't run our dead channel anymore.
Well,
This is an official decree. If we both die, delete our channel for us.
oh, you don't have to delete the channel. You can leave the channel. Just don't replace us. I think that's fair.
Upload a video saying dead YouTubers they totally died, and then like link all of the videos we've ever made in the description.
And then we'll get subscribers.
I also didn't. I mean, I guess he was a good actor. I just didn't like the way. I was very unsettled by the creator. His acting.
Oh, yeah.
How he was just like overtly weird.
Yeah.
And like he's sort of like that in the book, but not as intense. But I was just put off by. I'm sure the actor did a great job
Yeah.
with the scene direction he was given. But I was just put off by that character.
I get that.
I liked Simon Pegg. At first, I couldn't understand why. I was like, Simon Pegg's like doing a voice, I think? I can't tell what's up. He was just not doing his British accent. He was speaking an American accent. And it took me like half the movie to be like,
when you saw him at the end?
no, throughout the whole movie.
No, he was British. He was just doing a very pompous British accent.
Simon Pegg?
Yeah.
No.
When he
had
was
an
playing the
American
butler.
accent. Oh, when he was playing the butler, yeah, but in the scenes
He's
that he was in.
other scenes besides the end of the movie?
Yeah, when they're watching the scenes of from his
Oh.
life when he's a kid
right,
or whatever.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's playing an American,
Right.
but his butler
No, I wasn't even
act
talking
is
about the
British.
concierge character. No, that
Yeah.
guy, that was clearly a faux pas of a British accent.
Yeah.
But no, when he was talking, it took me like half the movie to realize like, oh, this guy's British.
Yeah.
And he's doing an American voice. That's why
Yeah.
he sounds so different. But I was just like, damn, Simon Pegg's like doing something. I can't figure out what. I felt like such an idiot. I was like, it's because he's British. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a cool movie. Not my favorite movie. It was.
No, that's
it was-
fine.
It was. That's the thing. It was like it had a lot going for it. It had a lot of places where it could have dropped the ball, and I feel like it like almost did, but then it didn't. Right. And I could get into the specific intricacies. Intricacies of those, but I won't. But overall, I think the best word, I already said it, but I think the best word to describe this film is inoffensive. I think it did its job. I think if you are someone, and I feel like this is probably most people, especially children, I feel like if you are someone who did not want to read the book and you were like, I'll just watch the movie, then it gets the point across.
Yeah.
And I think that I think I did it the right way, reading it and then watching it. But I feel like if there's people, because I know some people do this too, I feel like if there's people out there who watched the movie and then they were like, wow, that was good. There's a book. I'm going to read the book now. They'll like the book even more because of
Yeah.
how much more world building a book has than a movie. I'm sure I could say this about any movie adaptation of a book,
Right.
but this is the one I consumed the most recently. And I'm glad I did. I got Ready Player One on Google Play Books. I was like, how do I download this book? I was like talking to Kelsey. I was like, how do you download books? But it was just on the default Google Book app that every Android phone has.
Nice.
I've been stewing on this for a bit. What would you say is a good Doctor? Nope.
Doctor.
Doctor? No.
He's definitely not a doctor. Neither
What is it
of them
called? What
are.
is the segment fucking called? Why can't I think of it?
Dickhead's Critic Corner.
Roger Ebert's Critic Corner. What is a good movie for that bit we're about to do?
Did he do a video game movie? I mean, the right answer is Spy Kids 3, but we already did that.
You're fucking right. Why did we blow our load on Spy Kids 3? Let's see if he did the Mortal Kombat movie. I love the Mortal Kombat movie. Wait, is this oh no, that is not. I should know better. I only want RogerEbert.com. Looks like maybe he didn't. Mortal Kombat movie. No, seems like Roger Ebert did not do that one. What's another video game movie? We already listened to his Resident Evil review. I feel like he would. I don't know. Why did he not see? And he hasn't seen Scott Pilgrim. We've already confirmed that. I could look up the Super Mario Brothers movie, but you yourself haven't seen that, and I want you to see it.
Yeah, that should be behind a paywall for this channel.
It's not okay. I was gonna say it's not that bad. It's pretty terrible, but it's not like burn your eyes out bad. But it's not. It's also not so bad that it's good, like The Room. It's a very not great movie.
What do we do? Resident Evil?
Well, hold on. We did that one.
Dang.
I just talked about how we did that one. Hang on, I have an idea. Hold on. Hang tight. Hang tight, everyone. It's happening. We're doing it. This is Roger Ebert's review of the 2005 Tim Burton film Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay.
The remake of the of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. The title of this review is Chocolate Has a Creepy Center. Chris, my favorite part of the review process. How many stars do you think?
1.5.
1.5. Just as a reminder to you and to the audience, Roger Ebert does star ratings out of 4 because he's an actual thoroughbred psychopath. And Chris thinks he gave it a 1.5 out of 4. He, in fact, gave it a 3 out of 4.
Wow.
Ever the unpredictable Ebert. Say that 100 times fast.
Ever the unpredictable Ebert. That's a better title for this bit. Ever the unpredictable Ebert's Critics Corner.
Oh, it starts off with a bang. Okay. I don't care how professional or unprofessional you are or how much amount of schooling you have. If you know how to write, do not start a story like this. Now, this is strange. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory succeeds in spite of Johnny Depp's performance, which should have been the high point of the movie. Depp, an actor of considerable gifts, has never been afraid to take a chance, but this time he takes the wrong one. His Willy Wonka is an enigma in an otherwise mostly delightful movie from Tim Burton, where the visual invention is a wonderment.
You hired Tim Burton to do Willy Wonka. What did you think Willy Wonka was going to be like?
Jesus Christ, this dude. The movie is correctly titled. Unlike Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from 1971, which depends on Gene Wilder's twinkling air of mystery, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is mostly about Charlie. Young Charlie Bucket, portrayed by Freddie Highmore, forgot about that, is so plucky and likable and comes from such an eccentric and marvelous household that the wonders inside the Chocolate Factory are no more amusing than the everyday life at the Bucket residence. Now he's going to explain the entire plot. Charlie wins one of the tickets, not without suspense. Charlie wins one of the tickets. That's where we're at. This stretch of the film has a charm, but a charm not unlike Babe or the undervalued Babe Pig in the City. The sequel to Babe that everyone hated. A metropolis is remade into the requirements of a fantasy. Tim Burton is cheerfully inventive in imagining the city and the factory, and the film's production design by Alex McDowell is a wonder. David Kelly as Grandpa Joe is lovable geezer who agrees to accompany Charlie to the factory. You may remember him racing off naked on a motorcycle in Waking Ned Divine.
Of course I do.
And young Freddie Highmore, who was so good opposite Depp in Finding Neverland, is hopeful and brave and always convincing as Charlie. I thought that was it, but we're not there. Oh, why did he bring up this person? The problem is that this time, he finds Neverland. Johnny Depp may deny that he had Michael Jackson in mind when he created the look and feel of Willy Wonka, but moviegoers trust their eyes, and when they see Willy opening the doors of the factory to welcome the 5 little winners, they will be relieved that the kids brought along adult guardians. Jesus Christ. That's not appropriate to say. Also, I've never heard him just called Willy. That was a little off-putting. Depp's Wonka, his dandy clothes, his unnaturally pale face, his makeup and lipstick, his hat, his manner, reminds me inexplicably of Michael Jackson, and oddly in a certain use of the teeth, chin, and bobbed hairstyle of Carol Burnett.
Okay, I don't think that's what Tim Burton had in mind.
I don't think it is either.
I think if I was gonna guess what Tim Burton wanted to do with his Willy Wonka, at least specifically with the hair, he said Gene Wilder, crazy hair. I'm gonna have his be a straight bob.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he went in a somewhat pervy direction with that, which is not unusual for Ebert.
No, not at all. The problem is not simply that Willy Wonka looks like Michael Jackson, it's that in a creepy way, we're not sure of his motives. The story... When did this review come out? 2005. Was the King of Pop still with us?
Oh, of course.
Why are
I don't know if his trial was going on at that point.
Yeah, was this like peak, like everyone rag on him? It's cool to rag on him?
I guess so.
Maybe. For the record, it was never cool to rag on him, but we all did it. The story of Willy and his factory has had disturbing undertones ever since it first appeared in Roald Dahl's 1964 book, also named after Charlie, not Willy. Nasty and frightening things happen to the children inside the factory in the book and both movies. Perhaps Willy is using the tour to punish the behavior of little brats while rewarding the good, poor, and decent Charlie. Sounds like you nailed it. How does it happen that each of the other 4 winners illustrates naughty childhood trait? Just Willy's good luck, I guess. A bit more. We see the wondrous working of the factory in the opening titles, a CGI assembly sequence that swoops like a roller coaster when the 5 kids and their adult guardians finally get inside. Their first sight is a marvel of imagination, and then he describes all the fucking, the scene with the trees and the Oompa Loompas and all that stuff. He uses Oompa Loompas, earnestly and dedicated workers, all looking exactly the same, through a digital miracle by the vaguely ominous Deep Roy. Not sure what that is. I think Deep Roy might be the actor who portrayed the Oompa Loompas in the movie, because it was just one dude. We're reminded of Santa's identical helpers in the Polar Express. He always says that. He always says we. He always involves us in his machinations. He always, we were reminded of the identical helpers in Polar Express. You know, the one part of the movie that everyone always talks about when they talk about how cool Polar Express is. Also,
Steven Tyler's one of the elves in the digital movie Polar Express.
Is he?
Yeah. I mean, they don't all look the same is what I'm saying.
I don't remember Steven Tyler being in Polar Express. I've not watched it since it was in theaters. It is essential to the story that the bad children be punished, their sins various, and then he talks about each fucking one. There's a lot more than I thought there was. Oh, not that much. All these children, he's still talking about the plot. Charlie and his grandfather, they're good. And Willy Wonka is good. Interesting. He didn't talk at all about the weird, Christopher Lee stuff. How, Willy Wonka's backstory is that his dad was a dentist and stuff. That was the weirdest part of the film. He didn't even mention it at all. What was he thinking of? In Pirates of the Caribbean, Depp was famously channeling Keith Richards, which may have primed us to look for possible inspirations for this performance. But leaving Pirates aside, can anyone... Jesus Christ, dude. Can anyone look at Willy Wonka and not think of Michael Jackson? Consider the reclusive lifestyle...
I've never once thought of Michael Jackson looking at this Willy Wonka.
Me either. I've seen the...
And you know what? Having him say that, I'm still never going to.
No, there's no...
There's no connection.
Roger Ebert... This is how Roger Ebert's brain is working right now. Well, Michael Jackson's a known pedophile, and I got creepy vibes from Willy Wonka. There it is. Consider the reclusive lifestyle, the fetishes of wardrobe and accessories, the elaborate playground built by an adult for the child inside. What's going on here? Bad luck that the movie... Oh, we got an answer. This is the conclusion of the Roger Ebert review of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory from 2005. Bad luck that the movie comes out just as the Jackson trial has finally struggled to a conclusion.
There it is.
So here's what happened. The Michael Jackson trial is happening. Everyone
He
gives a
wanted
shit.
clickbait.
Absolutely everyone gives a shit, and it's all Roger Ebert can think about, and it's all he was thinking about entering the movie, watching it, and exiting it, so he had to make it the main thesis statement of his goddamn review.
No, he wanted clickbait before clickbait. He was like,
No,
what's
he
big?
did.
What's big in the news
What
right now?
You know me, that's what I always say about Roger Ebert. He was a scumbag, but he understood SEO.
Christ. I think even though he's dead, he still has managed to make it to my number one slot of celebrities I would punch if I was famous. list.
Dude, valid point, counterpoint. If he was still alive, I think he would be on this rampant train of canceling celebrities at every corner.
Oh, absolutely.
'Cause like
And if he wasn't, we'd put him there.
I've spent zero effort essentially Googling random review after random review and just finding bullshit, perverted, sexist, ableist bullshit in his reviews. And like James Gunn makes one tweet about a pedophile 19 years ago, and all of a sudden he can't make Guardians 3 anymore. So like,
I mean, I've already canceled Ebert.
see, I hate cancel culture, and I wish it would stop. But like, I feel like if he was alive during all of it, he would be wrapped up in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he's still alive today, he's still making reviews, obviously.
Well, he's proven that he was going to do that till the end.
Mm-hmm. And he did. My word. It's not. Sometimes I get angry at Ebert, and sometimes the reviews make me uncomfortable. It's not usual that it's both. Like, I'm feeling very uncomfortable towards that review, but I'm also very angry at Ebert currently.
You know what always makes me angry about this podcast?
What?
Is we have, for the small, humble channel we are, have managed to get in touch with some people that are definitely beyond our pay grade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He is one I wish we could have strived to confront.
Yeah.
And I feel like he would have been relatively easy. I'm sure he has an email address we could have contacted him through.
No, I mean, Christy Carlson Romano, and joking about her all the time during Kingdom Hearts aside, Roger Ebert is the famous person that we fuck around with the most.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about him more than, like, in our history of recorded Thunder and Lightning, we've talked about this person more than any other famous person ever.
And never in good light.
No.
Every celebrity we've quote-unquote come in contact with
Right.
has always been a lovely interaction.
Yeah. Oh,
I-
just super, super delightful. Absolutely nothing to complain about.
No.
About She Says and Christy Carlson Romano.
And most recently, Joe Biden.
And most recently, President-elect Joe Bucket.
Go check out that Animal Crossing episode.
That's probably no, it'll be out.
And you think we're joking? We went to Joe Biden's Animal Crossing.
We did.
Anyways, I would solely want to get in touch with him to call him out, to be like, listen, you've miraculously made it through your entire career with nobody saying what a dickhead. Here I am. How do you, in the year 2020, how do you own up to what you've said in the past?
Did he? I don't know. I wasn't like, did he have critics back then? Be like Roger Ebert haters? Probably.
I've never heard of a single person say they don't like Roger Ebert.
Me either. In fact, the contrary is every time anyone talks about movie critics, they're like, well, can't compare to the greats. It's just only Ebert.
Yeah. Everybody who says doesn't compare to Ebert, I instantly in my head I'm like, oh, you've never read one of his reviews.
Or at least you haven't since
Cinderella, in like 1956.
Sure. That sounds about right to me for Cinderella.
Now I'm
I
looking it up.
I don't fucking know. Yeah, go for it. I hope you nailed it. Can we at least get in touch with his estate? Like, who do I talk to get this website taken down? Who's paying for this domain? I guess they have they still have articles, which doesn't make sense to me because it's called fucking RogerEbert.com, and I don't know why there's people on there who aren't named Roger Ebert.
1950.
You were close.
I was close.
You were same decade, same general era.
Here's the thing. I'm not gonna. The way I see it, you blame the man, not his. I'm not gonna take it out on his children or grandchildren who might be making some income on their grandfather's success. I'm not gonna fault them. I'm not gonna hurt them over, or try to, over their petty, pathetic grandfather or father, whoever's in charge of his estate right now. I just wanted him to be embarrassed for some of the... I know about this man's sexual fantasies when he was 20 years old. I came to him for a goddamn movie review. That's unacceptable.
We've never gone to him for anything more or less than a movie review.
Yeah, and it's unacceptable. You're a creep. You are a creep.
There shouldn't be enough insight into Roger Ebert's proclivities and backstory to implicate him in as many ist words as we can. You know what I mean? Like racist, sexist, like whatever you know. It's
not a great guy. Honestly, so much so we do have fun with this.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe we stop, but we do have fun with this.
No, I'm never stopping, baby.
It might be good to get it out there that if you've heard of Roger Ebert and you think he's good at what he does, we are here to prove you wrong.
You know, that's what it's turned into, because the bit was at first like, this guy's crazy, let's laugh at his reviews, and we still do laugh at his reviews, but
at first it was just he's a nut job.
Right. And now it's, wow, look at this terrible movie critic. Why do people like him? Also, if I may bring it back a bit, we have been shitting on the man for so long that we forgot that the article that I just read, the review that I just read that constantly shat on King of Pop Michael Jackson, he gave the movie a 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
He liked it a lot.
At least 75%.
I can only assume, but that was his review that we just read. I always read the whole review. The only parts I leave out is when he word for word, note for note explains the plot, which he does often. Most of the time, it's 75% of the review.
Just sucks.
I was waiting for whatever you had to say. That was great.
He just does, and I don't want to sit here and analyze the man anymore because it almost comes off like I want to know more about him.
Right.
Where I don't. At this point, my new goal of Roger Ebert is to just simply get it out there that he's not what you think he was.
Yeah, no, it's awareness at this point. I bet you that if he, this is my new favorite thing to do. If he was alive today, what would he have said about Ready Player One, do we think? Because I think that obviously the rampant, constant video game references would elude him.
Oh yeah, he'd be pissed out of his mind that he does not understand.
He would obviously like the Shining bit, right?
Yep.
And I feel like
he'd comment on there's too much CGI and it takes away from the plot of the movie.
Right.
Even though it isn't, that's just the age of cinema we live in.
But I bet you he would ultimately be like, but it was pretty great and I liked it a lot because it's Spielberg.
Yeah.
I feel like in Roger Ebert's eyes...
he was a kiss ass.
No, yeah, exactly. I feel like in Roger Ebert's eyes, Steven Spielberg can do no wrong, and he totally can. No one is without criticism. And this movie wasn't your best. It was okay. It was good. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't a fuck you, it's so good movie. It was it was passable. But I feel like Roger Ebert would... Here's what it would be. It would be 2.5 stars. It would be, didn't get it, Didn't love it, but it was great, and I realized that it was great. Too much CG. I saw it in 3D, and my chair shook, and I paid $27 for the tickets, because why would I go to a theater for anything less than the most high-end experience, and I hated it because I did that.
That is exactly. But you missed out one important part.
Yeah.
To some degree, he would have commented on the fact that the leading female role did have a scar on her face, but she was still totally tappable. Is how he would have put it. And he would have related it to a girl he knew when he was younger.
He would relate it back to that carnival.
Well, yeah, actually, he probably would have said, "Oh, she has a skin blemish. Well, she belonged in a freak show." Let me tell you the time I went to a freak show.
I went to a freak show once. There was a lot of cute freaks, and I only got one boner. You see.
That's a respectable amount.
Jesus Christ, I hate this dude. I think that tears it. I think we're done. Thank you for listening to Cinematic Relief. I hope you enjoy us shitting on Roger Ebert as much as we enjoy.
And if you don't,
him.
let us know.
If you don't,
any
let
feedback
us know,
is,
and we'll cut back a bit. I don't think I'll ever truly stop.
If somebody said, "Can you guys cool it with the Ebert stuff?" I think I'd say, you know what, I don't need to talk about this man anymore
right,
in my
that's
life.
the thing.
Recording it, you and I will sit here and shit on
Right.
him nonstop. But
No, I don't think I'll ever stop, but I'll definitely slow down if people want me to slow down.
yeah. But I've given this man a good year of my life of analyzation throughout the history of his.
Yeah.
And there's been
a lot of brain power trying to figure out what the fuck.
Yeah, and there's a few non-insulting reviews that we've come by, and we've even agreed with a few.
Yeah.
But that's not enough.
No.
And I'm done analyzing this man. Now I am simply calling his corpse out.
Whenever he does a review that we like sort of agree with, we always treat him like he's like a kid who finally like got a math problem right. We're like, "Hey, oh, good job. You did it. You reviewed the movie like a normal fucking person, and you actually liked Beauty and the Beast. Wow, you have a heart and a soul. And you like movies, it seems like."
Seems like he might like movies. Jury's still
Maybe.
out.
My least favorite /favorite Roger Ebert quote is in an interview once. He said, "No, I didn't watch Scott Pilgrim. I was on vacation. I don't think I missed out on very much." And my dude, you couldn't be more wrong. Thank you for listening to Cinematic Relief, our movie review podcast, which is slowly going to just turn into, what was that shit I said earlier?
Oh, I couldn't tell you.
It's recorded.
Thank God we have it recorded.
It's recorded, so I'll listen back, and the podcast is just going to be called that, and it's just going to be us talking about him for a straight hour.
I promise it won't end up.
No,
like that.
it absolutely will not. But until next time, I've been Thunder.
I'm Lightning.
Stay safe, stay clean, and we'll see you next time.